the stream. By the way, OSM, send me your PayPal because you got 20.
I'll donate
$1,000
$1,000 to the prize pool of the next SaltMine if you make it a 32 seed tournament. Top 5 NA, top 5 EU, top 5 famous RLCS once players, top 5 free.
Oh my goodness, top 5 freestylers, top 5 content creators, and 7 showmatch wildcards. What? You want content creators in the SaltMine? Freestylers in the SaltMine? I mean, it's an interesting idea. I don't think that that would, like, be true to the SaltMine's kind of history, though, you know? Top content creators against top 1v1 players against top content creators. That would be a completely one-sided thrashing. It would not be fun to watch in the context of the SaltMine, in my opinion. I mean, maybe some of you guys want to see that. I mean, people actually... Here's the thing. People actually do watch these videos. When I say it wouldn't be fun to watch, I'm not saying that the content wouldn't get views. Like, from a content standpoint, it's actually pretty good. I'm sure people would watch that. Super clickbait videos. Well, like... Mertzy versus O'Khaled, but it wouldn't be pretty. I mean, it would just be like 10-0 every game. I mean, if people think those games would be close, they're very mistaken, because the difference between like top ones players and even high Grand Champ content creators is absolutely massive. It's absolutely massive. It wouldn't work. Team captains are First Killer and Alpha Cap King Spectre. Bay. Sweet for you. Thanks for the 1,000 bits and the idea. That's a really cool idea. I think SaltMine, honestly, will stay just top level ones players. My vision with the SaltMine is to make it like just a top tier Rocket League tournament where you get to see the best 1v1 players play. That's what my goal is with the SaltMine. Now, from a content standpoint, your idea that you did have there, having like freestylers and you know, other content creators, wildcards, you know, veteran players, like these are all things that I, you know, kind of do anyway here and there. But yeah, putting them all into the SaltMine, I don't think it would work. Call it something else. Well, what do you guys think the format would be then? What would the tournament look like? Would it just be a big 1v1 tournament with content creators getting round one? What's your guys' vision on this one? Broby, thanks to the 15-month and the tier 3. I really appreciate that. Sorry I've not been able to do many tier 3s recently. These late streams do not, you know, give me really any time at the end to do reviews, because I want to just head to bed after these. Can we make it twice as big then? We need more content, so when I have anxiety I could just tune in and watch games. I see. Okay. Well, I'll definitely try and make as much content as possible. I can tell you guys that I've got a couple of tournaments in the pipeline. That's all the information I can give you right now, because there's still a lot of work to be done behind the scenes. But I am, you know, doing that. I'm always working on something. You can bet on it. Jesse and Mertzy pop off in ones. Well, Jesse is like kind of a content creator / like high level player. Obviously he's not RLCS level 3v3 or anything, but he is, you know, a legitimate like top tier ranked player on occasion. So, you know, you can't really put him in the same conversation as some of the other content creators who are just 1600 Grand Champ or 1500 Grand Champ or Champ 3. There's a big difference there. Would I want Psionics money in the SaltMine if they offered to support it? Yeah, of course. I mean, anything that you know, support from the actual developer of the game is pretty cool, right? Why not another beach ball low gravity tournament featuring content creators? I think if I do another content creator tournament like I did last year, it will have a silly twist to it, like boomer mode or something. The not yet mapped Salt Cave. Jesse 1 versus Jorius and 1v1. Yeah, Jesse's like a legitimately good player who can take down top players. Am I going to be on ESPN2 when EU plays Spring Series? I have no idea, honestly. I don't know. I don't make these decisions, and well, I was going to say I don't influence these decisions, but I guess I kind of do, you know, just depending on how well I cast games. But yeah, I don't directly have an influence on those kind of decisions, so I don't know. I would love to, though. I mean, I'd be lying if I told you I didn't want to do it. It seems like a pretty cool thing to do. I have casted Rocket League in the UK on BT Sport, which is one of our big sports channels in the UK. I don't know, you know, how it compares to ESPN in terms of popularity or viewership, but you know, it's a pretty big sports channel in the UK, and I've commentated on there. So has Shogun, so has Gregan, Onset, Stumpy, Cole. We've done TV commentary before. The funny thing about it is that we would actually forget that we're on TV, like because the broadcast was exactly the same as the one that we did for Twitch, identical. We didn't like make any. Well, actually, we made a few changes sometimes, but they weren't like as you know, as big as the changes that Spring Series made for the ESPN segment, right? We would just be casting the game, and when you're casting Rocket League, or at least when I'm casting Rocket League, one of my goals, I was talking to Shogun about this today. It's quite interesting that we both very much agree on this. That one of the things that really enables us to cast Rocket League well, or one of the things that really gets me into the zone when I'm casting, is if I can just block out everything external. And this is really, really important for, you know, the current home casting that people have to do. You know, if this is something that you're interested in, then yeah, definitely try it. The theory is, or at least my theory is, that if, you know, you've got distractions around you, such as the fear of sound complaints from your neighbors, like that's always going to be in the back of your mind, and it's always going to like limit what you can do and how immersed you can become in the game that you're casting. That's a limiting factor. Other things, like if you're, you know, in the living room and there's, you know, other people in the house and they're not allowed to come into the living room because you're casting in the living room, that might also be in your mind. You might be thinking, oh, I'm taking up other people's space here. Just anything that can take you out of the game and get you thinking about your surroundings is usually, in my experience, going to make you worse, or make you cast worse. Going to make you start thinking about what you're saying too much instead of just letting it flow, which is usually where the best moments come from, in my opinion. But you know, in my experience, the best thing to do in that context is to just turn off as many distractions as possible. So anything that could be a distraction, turn it off. That's why Brian is a massive distraction, because he's just in my ear. Terrible distraction. Twitch chat, also a huge distraction, but you know, it's like casting on hard mode, I guess. And besides that, you want to do this. So this is like my number one casting pro tip, right? Get all these volumes maxed. Crowd volume, max it. Ambient volume, all the way up. Gameplay, yeah, that's maxed as well. This one I turned to 80% because I did have to turn down my microphone slightly for Spring Series, and I'm used to doing it with this. But if I have 100 right now, my mic is actually a slight bit quieter, because Spring Series asked me to put it quieter, so I'm doing this for now. But if I put my mic back to where it usually is, this will be maxed across the board. Yeah, get all the audio as loud as possible, because then you're more like in the game. Especially with the headset I've got, oh my goodness, like it's really, really good for casting, because it's got sound cancellation, and it plays back my voice into my ears like with no delay, so I can hear exactly what I sound like to the stream, which is a bit off-putting for some people. If they hear the actual sound of their own voice, they're like, oh, I don't like that. But I've gotten used to it. I don't mind it. It's fine. So I really like this headset. I think it does a good job for me. Most challenging thing you've ever had to cast? Some of the delays, like the audio delays between me and my co-caster, can be really challenging. for online casts. That's definitely a challenge. The other like big challenges I've had in the past would have to be personality clashes between me and my co-caster. Luckily, that doesn't happen very much these days. 99% of my casting is with Shogun, and we've got great chemistry and great experience casting together, so we have no problems there at all. At least not from me. Maybe Shogun has issues with me. I don't have any problems with him. But in the past, I've had to cast with people who I just don't find funny, or people who I don't whose opinions I don't really respect. And I know that sounds bad, but if somebody just has a really bad attitude towards the game that we're casting, then I just don't. I don't know. It's really hard for me to get into that cast. Like in the past, I've had this problem with casters. I'm not going to name any names, of course, but they'll just be coming at the cast from a totally different perspective than me, and I just can't get any synergy going, and it just sounds bad, and I'm like, okay, this is hard. Don't know how to make this cast sound good, because everything I say, just in the context of what my co-caster's saying, just sounds ridiculous. NA casters Pepe laugh. Nah. Too many casters sugarcoat stuff. I don't know if that's as much of a problem anymore. It used to be a big problem, but it's not really a problem now. I think all of the RLCS casters, at least, from what I've seen, are perfectly happy to call out a misplay. Back in the day, that wasn't the case. People would sugarcoat a lot more and try to big up plays that are actually just terrible plays. So I don't think that's too much of a problem anymore. Here comes a waterfall down. Yeah, listen, guys, waterfall has to go. I don't know who thought of this, but waterfall, we can't be saying this unironically in cast anymore. There's nothing about this. Like, can we even call it a mechanic? I guess we can't even call it a mechanic. There's nothing about this occurrence in game that makes it a waterfall, other than the fact that water falls down a waterfall, and the ball falls down when it hits the curve above the goal. That's the only thing that they have in common. That's it. Why don't we call it the rainfall? Why don't we call it the stonefall? Why don't we call it my cup just fell off the table? Literally anything could be this. I don't know why waterfall was I don't know. It's just so unnecessary. Why do people think they have to give names to everything that happens in the game? You don't need to name anything that happens in the game. Hey, there's conclusive proof that I would be a great caster for ESPNs. I don't name anything. I don't say things by silly names. I just say what happened. What football team do I support? I don't really follow any football team, to be honest. How about we call it the ball fell? Exactly. Or, we just say that it bounced down. How about that? That's probably the best iteration. Again, guys, I'm not calling out anyone in particular. When I'm saying all these things, I don't have any particular person in mind. This is just, these are just general observations that I have about Rocket League casting, because I've done it for over 4 years. So I'm quite opinionated on the matter. Favorite event to cast? I really enjoyed DreamHack Montreal. I think that was a really good event. I came away from that one thinking, yeah, good job. Good job, Shogun. I think we killed that one. So yeah, I liked DreamHack Montreal. Yeah, DreamHack Valencia I really liked as well. But the event as a whole was not as fun because my girlfriend was with me and she had food poisoning. So I was like more worried for her health like the whole weekend than anything else. So I couldn't. No, she's fine. She's fine. I wasn't able to really enjoy that event anywhere near as much. Because well, I mean, obviously, how could I? I was like, are you okay? Are you good? Notable Jobin, thanks for the 4-month prime. Welcome back, buddy. Really appreciate that. ran out of turbo. Listen, I love that. That was actually spot on. You know that, honestly, having Landon Donovan was so good. He's like a meme machine. That guy is just like churning out so many memes per minute. It's unbelievable. Like way more memorable moments than pretty much any other cast of today. Like, tell me one thing that if anybody in chat right now can tell me one thing that I, Johnny Boy, said during any of today's matches that I casted, any of today's games that I casted rather. Yeah, write it in chat right now. I challenge you. I bet that you don't remember anything I said because I'm terrible at coming up with moments like that, memorable moments. Whereas Landon, man, he's just churning them out. I loved it. I thought it was, oh man, it was great stuff. You never got to hear me? Oh, okay. Oh my days. Don't know if I said that. Maybe I did. Maybe I did. You said yes. I said Shogun. These aren't phrases though. They're definitely not memes for sure. You know, on my next thing that I would want to see, you know, if there was another ESPN broadcast or another mainstream like media broadcast, if I was in charge, which by the way I'm not, so this is, you know, not coming from a position of secret knowledge or anything. But if I was in charge of the next one, what I would do is, you know, grab Landon Donovan again, because I think he was ideal. Put him on the as the regular desk, like, analyst, alongside, like, a Gibbs, for example, or James Bott. I think James Bott did great today as well. You could keep those three. I think they were fantastic. So leave James Bott, Landon Donovan. And then you would have them on the analysis desk, bantering, you know, discussing Rocket League and, you know, talking about some of the ins and outs for the newer viewers. And then you throw to the game, and you would want to, at that point I want to see like how the like mainstream audience would react to like just standard Rocket League commentary. I would love to see the reaction to just what Rocket League tournaments grand finals actually usually look like, because I think it's a really good product. I don't think people would struggle to follow the gameplay, and obviously I don't know that. I have to, you know, do some research, and I want to do some research. I want to ask people who saw or whose family or friends saw the games for the first time this weekend, and ask like, hey, what did you think? Because, you know, I don't actually know anybody in that position. But yeah, now that we've done that, now that we've done a super like basic like foundation level cast of a grand final on ESPN, it would be really cool to see the Rocket League or to see a Rocket League grand final just done the normal way, you know, or casted the normal way. I think that the bringing a special guest in for the desk is like a given. That's just a brilliant idea. And maybe the feedback or, you know, the resulting like viewership numbers or new players to the game would be lower with a normal Rocket League cast. Maybe if you threw Shogun and like literally anybody, just Shogun and anyone would do, to be honest. If you put Shogun and anyone on the cast of the game, maybe, I don't know, maybe ESPN wouldn't like it because they're like, whoa, what is this guy saying? Where are the subtitles? I don't understand this accent. I don't know. Maybe they would struggle too much. Like I said, it's all just interesting to me. A lot of people are really angry online with today's grand final, but I'm not angry at all. I thought it was really interesting. I'm really curious to see like the next step, you know. Yeah, it's a really interesting discussion. We can talk about that later again if you guys want to. I want to know from chat again, what did your friends and family who watch Rocket League on ESPN think? Because this is actually the information that I'm most interested in learning about. Genuinely.